G'day ladies and gents, so out on another hunt in this old military area up in far north Queensland. You can't quite see through the bush there, but up the back behind me is the remnants of an old messing stove, camp oven. So this bush is pretty thick. It's been the wet season up here, so everything's sort of grown. I have got my first decent target. Now I know what that is, and those of you that, you can see it just there, those of you who are frequent visitors to my channel might recognise that, or very much recognise the back of it. I'm sorry I can't get better lighting on it, but I'm going to pop that out of there, and look at that. That is an Australian Commonwealth or Australian Military Forces button. It's a big one. Beautiful piece of kit. Let's go in and get that. So missing the shank off the back, but the front is absolutely gorgeous. I've got it upside down there. Put it back down on the dirt here so you can get a look at it. There you go. Beautiful button. Alrighty, so like I said, I've found a bit of ammunition and some other bits of scrap, but that's the first decent thing I've found. Alright, let's crack on, Alrighty folks, my next find, pretty shallow, and it was an 88, reasonably high pitch signal, and you can see just forward of my shadow there, I've got the bottom off a safety razor. So we're in the right area. We've got buttons, we've got personal items like safety razor bits and stuff like that, so I'm pretty sure I'm down where the tent lines, or near where the tent lines were, or at the very least I'm near the ablutions, but we'll ferret around here for a bit longer. Somewhat warm, as you can see. I've raised a sweat. The things I go through to bring you good content. Alright, let's keep going, see what else we can pick up. Alright folks, so still going. A little bit of a cleared patch here, which is a bit better than trying to struggle through that lantana over there. Got the remains of an old bottle on the deck here. They've got a nice solid 88, really quite shallow, and you can see what I've turned out there. The military minded amongst you will know exactly what that is, and most of you have one of your own. For those who don't know, that's a belt buckle. So that is the male end of the buckle. The female end slots in through this tongue, and when clipped together they hold the belt. These were, in my time anyway, these were used on ceremonial belts and quite highly polished. In World War II they would have been used for just about any belt really, but more in the dress style. You can see it's starting to dry out in the extreme heat. It's just after lunchtime, so it's still quite warm here, quite muggy too. I reckon we might get an afternoon storm, but yeah, there you go. So another personal item, so we'll see what else we can find, Let's keep cracking. Well, it would appear that I've turned the camera off a tiny bit too early, because same hole, and still had an 88, and there's the female end of that belt. So I'm going to try and put it together with one hand for you. There's the male end, and the female end just slots in basically like, it's hard to do with one hand, ladies and gents. I'll try and get it for you. It's probably going to be easier if I prop this up and do a demo. There we go. Alright, so slots together. Like, theoretically, it's meant to go together, but this one's quite bent. But slides together like that, and then that's meant to slide over the top of there, but you can see it's quite heavily bent and it's not going to quite make it. But that is how that belt buckle goes together, male and female ends. Alrighty, let's keep going, Alrighty folks, so here's an interesting one. It rang off like silver, and it looks like silver. It looks like it's got a crystal top or a glass top. It's quite chipped. I'm not entirely sure what that is. It looks like a lid off something. So what I'm going to do is, if it's silver, there should be a hallmark of some description. So I'm going to put you on the side, get my toothbrush out, and give this a scrub and see what I can come up with. But it's really quite interesting, unless it's a part of a lighting set or something like that. But you wouldn't expect it to be, you know, silver around the edge. You expect it to be black or something like that as a diffuser for lighting or something like that. But I'm going to give this a clean, and I'll be back to you. Hold on a moment. Rightio. So after a bit of a clean, it still looks like silver, but I think, matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it's silver plated, because if I turn it over here, you can see just here where the flaking's occurring on the threads, just through there, and you can see copper underneath. So, you know, it's sexy as hell, whatever it is. But unfortunately, it appears to be silver plate, and you can see it's coming up quite badly just there. You can see that flake. So I have absolutely no idea. Pretty, and I'll take it. Probably just throw it in the bin later, but I will hang on to it for a bit until we figure out what it is. Alright, let's keep going, eh? Alrighty folks, so just thought I'd show you what I'm working with and what my indicators are and stuff like that. So fairly thick bush, but as I pan around this way, you can see the remnants of a big old camp oven. So made out of the local stone. You can see where the notches were, where the plate was put in, and then this one's crumbling down now. You can't see it, but through the scrub that way, about 50 metres is another one, and back down that way, about 50 metres away, is another one. This one's probably the best of the three. But you can see, completely constructed out of old stone. So I'm going to go back behind it over here, because out front of it doesn't look particularly flat, and it's quite thick there. But you can see up this end a little bit more open, well, kind of, and I'll give that a bit of a touch up and see what's up there. But yeah, so there you go. That's my my indicator for the fact that I'm in a camp area. Apart from the things I've been finding, you got great items like this. Alright, let's get going. Alrighty, so I decided to come down out of the bush and have a bit of a go around this old lake, man-made lake. Those who know where I am know it well. I've been going along this edge over here and got a cracking 82 signal. Been digging a lot of ammunition. If you have a look in here, there is a lot of ammunition. But have a look at this fella here. Where did I see him? Bit of a sunbaker, right there. See that? That looks like a penny. Right on the surface. It's been sitting in the sun. Yeah, look at that. So she's a 1940 something Skippy penny. Look at the lake right here. Let's give her a wash. That made it worse. You can't read anything on it now. 1944. So you got yourself a 1944 Skippy penny. Check that out. Out in the open, laying out in the sun. All right. So we'll keep cracking along here for a bit before I decide I've had enough and go home. I'll tell you what, folks, it's been a bit of a slog. So I've been cracking along through here. I've got more bloody ammunition than a bloody machine gunner at the SOM. Look at that. A lot of that's live too, so I have to find a place to bury it out here before I head home. I can't really take it home and put it in the bin or anything like that. And yes, I know my job as an EOD technician, and yes, I could make it safe, but it's 303 ammunition. Let's be serious, folks. That just involves paperwork. Some nice little indicators around here, though. If you have a look at this, this is the bottom off a bottle. I don't know if you can see that, but the date on that's 1938. So we're slowly moving into the right area. You know, you don't really drink and shoot at the same time if you're in the military. Came down along here. It looks like I've lost my target. Oh, there it is. And I finally got another relic. If you look just there, you can see a buckle, like a webbing buckle or something similar. That's a welcome find. Most of the stuff along here, like I said, has been ammunition, so you know, it's nicer out here than it is in the bush from a swinging perspective, but there's a lot more ammo and other crap, but not to worry. We'll crack on and see what else we can find, eh? Alrighty, so it's about 2 minutes later and things are looking up. You can see just there we've got the a second buckle, same as the first. Excellent. I just picked up a tarp eyelet just back here as well, so looks like we're moving in towards the camp area, which is good. What's that on the ground there? That's a valve off a truck inner tube. Awesome. Right, let's keep going. Alrighty folks, I think I'm pretty much done through here. The sun's starting to get a little bit low in the sky and I'm a bit warm. Just to show you what I've picked up around the lake here, been here for about an hour and a half. And the good stuff is over there, a couple of buckles. That surface fine penny and a eyelet. And this is the collection of ammunition. This isn't all of it. You know, if I saw one on the surface, I left it there. Let's face it, the area's got a military history, so there's no point in picking it all up. You know, people should be able to walk along the edge of this lake and find evidence of the history of the place, you know. So I've left them there. These ones here, a lot of them are live, so I can't really do anything with them. I can't throw them in the bin, I can't do anything like that. So what I'm going to do is, this stump has a convenient hole, and you can see the lake's just there. Ordinarily, the lake's all the way up there, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to post them in this, and that's where they're going to go, and as the lake rises back up, they'll be back underwater. Not my usual procedure. Ordinarily I take all my rubbish out, but this rubbish is not something that I can do that with easily, so I'm going to do that. The other option is just to rebury them, but I think this is a better option. At least some of the detector won't find them again, and the live ones are out of the way of inquisitive children. Alright, I'll show you the rest of the stuff I got out of the bush in the roundup, but yeah, just thought I'd show you that. That's an hour and a half's worth. Alright, see you later. Alrighty folks, so this is the product of the relic hunt that you've been watching. To cop back, give it a bit of a clean, haven't sort of overdone it. There wasn't a real lot, not as much as there have been previously in those areas, but as per usual and as you'd expect to find, things like these Commonwealth military forces buttons are always super cool. I'll try and get as close as possible as I can to that. And then you've got the razor parts, the belt buckle that I sort of had about 9 cracks to put together. You wouldn't know that I actually I own it, would you? I own one very, very similar, but you can see now it's got quite a bend in it, which makes it difficult to put it together, but still got no idea what this is. It looks like a stopper of something. Like I said, it's pretty cool, but without being able to identify it, it's probably of little use to me. The sunbaking penny, which looks a bit better now that it's dried out a tad. 2 buckles, 50 caliber projectile, which I decided to keep, and a sling or a strap end. All in all, that's pretty much it, folks. Hope you enjoyed the hunt. Probably the standout of all that is probably the fact that I've got 2 halves of the same belt. Although I am always a sucker for a good button. We'll get this to focus for me. There you go there. They do look fantastic, don't they? Except when you hold the camera too close and they don't work. Alright folks, catch you on the next one.